Hello and welcome to Brilliant POV. The Sunday may be setting on America's reign as a global economic titan. Unfortunately, a substantial portion of Americans, particularly those within the political sphere, seem blind to this approaching reality. The budding new economic superpowers? China, followed closely by India. By the turn of the next century, it is projected that the US will slip into third place in terms of GDP, accounting for a mere 12% of the global output, in stark contrast to China's 27% and India's 16%. The insights were gleaned from a robust, recently published study we collaborated on. This research, shared by the National Bureau of Economic Research, dissected the world into 17 distinct regions and meticulously correlated United Nations demographic predictions with fiscal data from the International Monetary Fund. The future economic trajectory of any given region is shaped by two principal forces: labor productivity growth and demographic patterns. Drawing from historical data, the study predicts that by mid-century, China's and India's labor productivity will touch 30% and 13% of the current US levels, respectively. Fast forward to 2100, China will stand shoulder to shoulder with the US in productivity, while India will operate at 30% of the US level. However, China's population is expected to decline by 400 million, more than the present US population, while India will add over 400 million citizens, surpassing China's population by 50% in 2100. In contrast, the US will witness a population surge of around 30%, a significant increase equivalent to the current population of the Philippines. These seismic shifts are indeed monumental and somewhat surprising, yet they pale in comparison to the transformations underway in Africa and the Middle East. By the century's close, sub-Saharan Africa will house an additional 2.4 billion people, approximately double the current population of China. Concurrently, the sum of Middle Eastern and North African populations is set to rise by nearly 800 billion, about 2.5 times today's US population. Several other regions will see population declines through 2100, Japan by 40%, Western Europe by 10%, Russia by 14%, and Eastern Europe by a staggering 36%. Remarkably, regardless of whether regional populations surge or dwindle, all regions are poised to grapple with profound population aging. For instance, China's 70-plus age group, which currently forms 6% of the population, is forecasted to account for 26% by 2100. Other regions, including Latin America, Central Asia, and South Asia, are expected to experience similar dramatic aging. This demographic trend presents a colossal fiscal challenge, especially concerning pension provisions for the elderly. As a result, several regions, including the US and China, will have to significantly hike payroll tax rates sooner rather than later to ensure their retirees' benefits. While demographic transitions, in terms of population scale and age distribution, carry significant weight, productivity growth remains the cornerstone. By 2100, sub-Saharan Africa will outnumber the combined population of China and India by 30%. However, due to the region's sluggish productivity growth, its contribution to world output will barely shift, rising from 2% to 4%. Despite the West's current advantage in skilled workers capable of producing and utilizing advanced technology, a separate study suggests that the pace of automation needs to quicken substantially to have a meaningful impact. Today's vision of tomorrow may appear far-fetched, but consider the year 1945 when America's economy composed half of the world's total. China's share was minuscule. Fast forward to the present, and the US global GDP share has fallen to 16%, roughly on par with China's. Projections suggest that by the end of the century, China's economy will outstrip ours by more than double. Conversely, Russia's contribution to global output is expected to trickle down to a mere 1% from today's 3%. While projections are informed guesses at best and hinge on uncertain assumptions, it is difficult to ignore the looming Chinese century unless an unforeseen, permanent dip in Chinese productivity growth intervenes. This inevitable power shift begs the question: how will America respond? The potential answer is rooted in Thucydides' Trap, the propensity of fading hegemons, like Sparta during Thucydides' era, to preemptively challenge rising powers, like Athens, in a desperate bid to retain supremacy. Recent policies that restrict China's access to semiconductor chips and commit the US to Taiwan's defense are indicative of this historical pattern. Trying to constrain China's economic and military might will likely exact a hefty price and offer little promise of success. However, history reminds us that Sparta did manage to suppress Athens, albeit with external assistance from Persia. A similar strategy involving a coalition of the US, Europe, Japan, Southeast Asia, and India could potentially outmaneuver the Chinese juggernaut. However, maintaining such a cohesive alliance over the long haul requires exceptional diplomatic skill and perseverance, a feat achieved by Athens and Sparta during the Persian Wars but failed to be sustained thereafter. In summary, the economic mantle is shifting from the US to China, a transformation that threatens to steer both nations towards conflict. The potential fallout from such a confrontation would inflict lasting damage on both economies, creating an opportunity for other nations, like India, to capitalize on their misfortunes. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe.